Again, Dale Nesbury, College President, and I thanked everyone for being here, and I noted that I was going to turn the microphone over to Dr. Don Crandall, our board chair. But again, to repeat, I appreciate the fact that everyone from our board to our faculty, staff, and our administration, all of the foundation support we've received internally and support externally has been wonderful. So as opposed to repeating 5 minutes of material, I am going to turn the microphone over to Dr. Don Crandall and have him explain to all of you how we got here. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Muskegon Community College, I welcome you to this grand opening of the Carolyn I. and Peter SturrusTechnology Center in downtown Muskegon. To start with, I'd like to introduce the board who played a significant role in this. First is Diana Osborne, Vice Chair of the board. Nancy Fry is Secretary, stand up. Sean Mullally is Treasurer of the board. Roy Portinga is a long-standing trustee of the board for many years. And Kathy Moore, our newest member of the board. This whole process started back in 2009, actually, with a strategic plan for Muskegon Community College. And it took a lot of work on the part of the Board of Trustees, the Foundation for MCC, the administration and their support staff, faculty, student body, state and federal legislators that helped in this process, as well as the citizens of Muskegon, corporate and individual donors, all played a significant role in bringing us to where we are today. The strategic plan led to a facilities master plan, and the board felt that it was important to have a significant facility improvement to improve the learning experience of our students going forward. And the strategic plan and the facilities plan brought to the board 4 different projects that they thought we needed to do. One was the new science center to support the STEM programs that are so critical to job creation. The second was a health and wellness facility to help us contribute to improving the health and welfare of Muskegon community. You know our health figures are not very good. We needed support for the arts and humanities. The arts were working out of a pole barn, and we had an expanded music program that needed help. And the last and not the least was improvement of our applied technology and entrepreneur studies that were critical to job creation in Muskegon. And that led us to where we are today. With the support of the Muskegon County voters, a millage was passed that allowed us to complete this. We also had additional funding from our state legislators, and I think Senator Hansen will be talking about that. They were instrumental in getting significant state fundings, both Senate and House representatives from our area. We had additional help from U.S. Senators Gary Peters' office and Debbie Stavenauer that helped us with Federal Economic Development Administration fund, and I think you'll hear more about that and how that money has been spent in this new facility. And there were significant donors, corporation donors from around the community that supported this and made this happen. We just dedicated a new donor board out in the main lobby as you come into it, and you'll notice there's still room on that board, so if any of you are interested, just let us know and we'll get your name up there. It's not a problem. When we started deciding where things were going, one of the millage proposals that we made was that we would do something downtown. And we weren't quite sure exactly what we were going to do, but we know that we wanted to be a partner, much like Baker College was a partner in trying to jumpstart the redevelopment of downtown Muskegon. And it was quite frankly, it was the faculty of Applied Technology, Entrepreneur Studies, and Experiential Learning that came up with a plan of how they would use the facility to improve that. And that's what you see today. So we thank them for their foresight and their willingness to come forward and lead us in this effort as well. We purchased the Muskegon Chronicle building, and then shortly after that, we love this Albert Kahn room that we're in now, and we've tried to preserve that part of the building and then make significant changes in the additions and the new press room. In addition to that, John Rux made a very generous donation of the former Masonic Temple building that is now part of this. We blasted a wall through and connected the two, and that makes up what is now the Sturrus Center in downtown Muskegon. But buildings are nice, but it's what's important, is really important is what's inside. And when we were considering this location in the downtown facility, we wanted to make a bold statement and support manufacturing within the community. We were hearing from our industrial partners in the community that we needed more training, more skilled workers, and so we launched on this effort. And as you go through, you're going to see advanced CAD design and manufacturing, electronics, alternative energy, expanded welding facilities, new foundry, a lot of new things that are primarily designed to train workers for the workforce and help stimulate the local economy. In addition to that, we have the Entrepreneur Center, and the idea is to educate and train individuals that can develop new businesses in town and stay in town. So in addition to the applied technology, we now have the Rooks and Sarnicola Institute of Entrepreneurial Studies, and that's mostly situated in the former Masonic Temple. And then to augment that, we have the new Ann and Richard Kraft Rapid Prototype Center, which is the maker space for people with new ideas, and you have a chance to see all of that. This is how we got here and what we have, and there are going to be many speakers on the program that are going to talk about these specific projects as we go forward. We've already seen a significant increase in revitalization. I was talking to John Rux, and my wife and I were downtown about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we counted 3 cranes in downtown Muskegon. We said, I haven't seen that much construction going on here in a long time. We're really pleased to be part of that as a college and a part of a lot of people contributing to the redevelopment, but we really look forward to the results coming out of this new Applied Technology Center and our Entrepreneur Center, and hopefully that will be the drive going forward. So thanks to all of you, the people of Muskegon, for helping us make this possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Crandall. On your programs, you'll note that we have a series of speakers and a number of introductions that I will be doing along the way, but we're going to dive right into the speakers at this point. Mr. Peter Sturrus, I think he does not need an introduction, but having MCC background, and in many ways he and his wife, and having a long time career at Shape Corporation and much before, I very much thank you for doing what you've done for us, sir and ma'am.
Thank you. Well, you know, this is one of those situations. I feel like, why did I come home from Arizona to here? But we brought the warm weather with us, and I have friends in the audience, some of my biking buddies, and some people from Shape and family. And so that makes this a very, very happy occasion. Wow. Can you just believe this place? If you haven't seen it all, be sure and take a tour before you leave. Last August 24, Carolyn and I were invited to a sneak preview. Before we were even in the building, I was excited. I happened to look in a window and see them uncrating an articulating arm robot. That whetted my appetite. Did you ever go to a sporting event that was so exciting that you said, wow, wow? Or go to a play or a concert that was so wonderful it took your breath away. Or go and see the sunset through the clouds over Lake Michigan or in the mountains. So magnificent that you just had to praise our Creator. I'll tell you, when Carol and I walked in this building, we had all of these emotions. I'm telling you this, that it was a wow plus. In fact, it blew us away. And I want to thank you, Diane Osborne, for inviting us. This location has a lot of meaning for both Carolyn and myself. In 1951, right after high school, Carolyn started working for Dr. Alan Umbright at Muskegon Junior College, or JC as it was called in this day, more appropriately named Muskegon Community College today. And even though I started selling celery out of a little red wagon when I was 8 years old, I give this building and the people who were in it at the time a lot of credit for me beginning to understand some of the nuances of business. You see, it was 73 years ago, and I was 11 years old. And I bought my paper out. I picked up my papers right here. I paid for them right here. Later, they delivered my papers to Red and John's gas station, if you remember, on the corner of Peck and Hartford. Papers were a nickel and 25 cents for the week. One of the most exciting days that I remember was the end of World War II in 1945, in August of 1945, VJ Day. I was first in line in this building to get my extras. Extra, read all about it. A lot of people here don't even know what I'm talking about since the advent of TV. However, I got my papers, I went across the street to the plaza of the Occidental Hotel. I was sold out in 5 minutes. People were hugging me, they were throwing dollar bills at me, $5 bills, and nobody wanted change. Husbands and wives, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters were coming home. What an exciting time. Yes, this area of Muskegon means a lot to Carolyn and myself. We are so excited about this endeavor and what it means for Muskegon Community College, the city of Muskegon, Muskegon County, Ottawa County, Oceana County. You see, I don't believe there's any other community college in the state of Michigan that has such a wonderful technology center. In fact, did you know that we are rated number one in the state of Michigan? We are so excited about this endeavor and what it means for Muskegon Community College that we believe that, it didn't just happen. We believe it's providence. All the right people in the right place at the right time. There are two words that I frequently use when I talk to the family at Shape Corporation, and we have some Shape people here, and they probably know what I'm going to say before I even say it: community and cooperation. I love them words. I stress community because this is a community college. And it took a whole community worth of cooperation to get us to where we are. Cooperation, what a word. It began with the president, Dale Nesbury, with a vision. A board of trustees that supported the dream. A city mayor and city council that said, hey, this is what downtown Muskegon needs. And, of course, business leaders, community leaders, all getting behind the project. We also had the Muskegon Community Foundation, who stepped up. And then I have to talk about Mr. Rooks. We owe him a large debt of gratitude. He donated the Masonic Temple building. And that wasn't the end of it. He encouraged Mr. Sarnicola and his wife Ashley to join him in establishing the Entrepreneurial Center for Studies. This is also where Richard and Ann Kraft's Prototype Center will be, or is already. We are thankful for the Grand Haven area and Fremont foundations who supported this effort, and so many individuals and businesses who have made this a reality. There is a board out here that shows many of the contributors. I can tell you right now, it's not complete. I didn't see, for example, my lovely sister-in-law who donated. And I mean this sincerely. I mean this sincerely because she met her husband here at Muskegon Community College, and she made a wonderful donation in his memory. I know Mrs. Whitaker isn't here, who gave a donation in honor of her husband. You all know Whitaker Electric. And there's other names that aren't on there yet, but they will be. And so, as Doctor said, there's still room. The other thing I was going to say is, look at the board. You'll see your friends' names. You'll see businesses. Shake their hand. Thank them for being so generous. You probably noticed I saved the whole of Muskegon County for last. They have supported the Muskegon Community College since 1926, 92 years. We thank them especially for their latest millage. Without it, this probably wouldn't have happened. But it's a continuing. They keep on and keep on and keep on. And we will see the results in this community because we'll also be seeing and reaping the benefits of their generosity. Prosperity will be coming to our community. We will be providing a higher level of workers to our businesses, especially those in manufacturing. An entrepreneurial spirit will be started. Muskegon itself will grow as students come in from Oceana, Kent, and Ottawa counties. They will realize and fall in love with the beauty along the lake shore of Muskegon Lake and what we have in Lake Michigan. And they'll want to come to work here. They'll want to establish businesses here. They'll want to purchase homes here. And we will see Muskegon grow. And we'll have a new glow along the lake shore. We have the campuses of Muskegon Community College and Baker right across the street from each other on Marquette. We have over here the Baker Culinary, and here the Technology Center. Talk about cooperation. They're going to be sharing the bus services between the main campuses and here. You might wonder why I am so excited. Well, this was my career. First machining, then tool and die, and mold making, which all led to various roles in management. First engineering, sales, vice presidency, and during my retirement years, vice chairman of the board of directors of Shape Corporation. I experienced the joy of being involved in a company that had 20 employees and 3 roll form mills. And I experienced the joy of being involved in this business that is now a worldwide business. And it's that because we engineer great products, we understand metalworking, plastics, and now even carbon fiber. Many of the skills required by us and other businesses in the area will be taught right here in Muskegon Community College. We have programs in CAD, electronics, automation, engineering, machining, materials, welding, an experiential lab, and a fab lab. And the best of all is we have wonderful instructors. They have the proper education, the training, and experience to bring qualified associates to the workplace, whetting the appetite of future engineers and stimulating thoughts of entrepreneurship. How do I know? Well, Carol and I sat in on some classes. Kathy Leiford's 3D CAD CAM, Jeff Johnson's Advanced CAM. The students were really into it. Where we sat, we could see all the screens. And we also observed that the instructors knew where each student was and made sure that they were up to speed. We went to the welding lab, Tom Summerick's classes. We saw beautiful welds. We saw them bringing them to Tom because they were so proud, and he would critique them. From there, we went to the advanced welding class where one of the Shape associates was teaching the programming of robots. And Carol and I saw a programmed welding robot, and this was a thrill. We also went to the materials lab, and I can tell you this was a treat because we had students that came in. I saw the bus when I drove up. We had students that came in from Hesperia, and they were really paying rapt attention. In fact, they were part of it. They were hands-on. They were heat treating, quenching, checking the hardness, checking for elongation, all the things that you would expect in a materials lab. It was a great experience. I believe these students, at least some of them, will be coming to this building to continue their education. With these instructors and all the other well-qualified instructors that we have spoken to, we truly believe that this technology center will prove itself a huge, I mean huge, success. Where else would you have the experience of an up-to-date foundry, 3D printing, and the ability to make prototypes and the products that we can make in our Lakeshore Fab Lab? I also should mention the electronic lab and machining center, which includes the latest 5-axis and CNC mill turning centers and the like. You should see it, and don't leave till you do. It's wonderful, thanks to the people at Northern Tool. Yes, MCC, you did wonders in bringing this all together. With all that is going on in downtown Muskegon, the Muskegon Farmers Market, new buildings, revitalizing old buildings, Baker's Culinary, the new merchant mini markets, and now the Technology Center, downtown Muskegon is having a rebirth. Downtown is coming alive. Now, I've been asked, why are you making this sizable contribution? The short answer is 39 years ago, I was full of cancer. The doctors gave me about a 20% chance to live. I felt the cancer leave my body during prayer. 14 years ago, I was riding with a couple of my buddies on the Muscatawa Trail. I knew something was wrong, and I stopped, and then nothing. Talk about Providence, that was the first time that I rode with these two fellows that any one of us had a cell phone. We were just west of Ravenna. There were 2 EMT ambulances and the EMTs having coffee together in Ravenna. Figure that one out. Providence. I didn't hear the sirens. I didn't feel being put up into the ambulance, but I can tell you that I felt the shock when I came alive again. And you see it on TV sometimes, you really do come up off the table. Yes, I feel that God has kept me alive for a purpose. This very building, where at an early age, I received my first insight into business, now being transformed into the MCC Technology Center, has to be one of His purposes. To Him be the glory and praise. Excuse me if I get emotional. I also give Him the glory and praise that I can honor my dear wife and helpmate, Carolyn. I love you, Cara. This is in your honor. We also did this because we love Muskegon. We grew up here. Our roots are here. We raised families here. We had children, siblings, and friends that all went to MCC. We recognize all the potential. Again, we love the slogan, "Watch Muskegon Go." And we would add, "Grow and glow," as a beacon light on the western shoreline of this great state. May God bless all the numerous individuals, industries, businesses, organizations, and Muskegon Community College, #1 in our state. Yes, community and cooperation, my 2 favorite words.
I just want to add a few words. I love you too, Peter. And I am overwhelmed with love and gratitude for all that has gone on in this college. and for all the people who have been involved. Now, first of all, I want to thank my parents who gave me the work ethic to be privileged to work at the college for 35 years. Secondly, there were 2 high school teachers who recommended me to be working in the assistant principal's office at the high school during my senior year at the high school. Then Dr. Umbright, not knowing that I was such a fledgling secretary or whatever, took me on, no experience to speak of, and fresh out of high school, and taught me everything I know. You may wonder what the I stands for in the Carolyn I and Peter Sturrus building. When I was at the college, I was Carolyn Iverson. In 1962, my then husband taught physical geography at the college. He passed away in 1984, and the flagpole at the entrance to the campus on Marquette is in his honor and memory. So that's where the I comes from. I want to thank especially all the past board members and presidents that I worked with. I want to thank all the faculty, staff, and administration that I worked for. I loved every minute I was there. And I also want to thank those who are carrying on and doing such marvelous things. When I began working, it was a one-person office. And now, I don't know how many buildings you have, but you have quite a few, and there are more coming. I know Dr. Nesberry has plans for more buildings. So I want to thank all those who have so much vision, so much love and dedication to make this college grow and go. Thank you so much.
And somehow you expect us to follow that. Thank you very, very, very much. Now, our next speaker, or series of speakers, I think you will see have similar passion for the institution. Dick and Ann Kraft, I should say, have been longtime supporters of the institution, students, and friends. And come on over, Mr. Kraft. And I'm loving that lovely green and white you have on there. So I just had to make sure my brother in green and white had just had to mention that. But Dick Kraft, everyone, here you go, sir. You can either use this or that. How?
Thank you.
Oh.
First, I want to tell you that, I went to that college building just 1 block away from here. Okay, that was at that time Muskegon Junior College. But I thought I've got a prepared thing for you, but I might add to it. But I want to honor the English teacher there. I mean, she was determined that I was going to love and like English, and that I'm going to study it, and I'll do a good job with it. So I tried. Okay. But anyway, my father brought us from Ludington to Muskegon in 4 years before 47. That's 43. That's when I came here, 1943. Went to Muskegon High School. From there I went to Muskegon Junior College. So here's my start, and I'll finish it. Muskegon Community College is very different today from what it was when I came to graduate in 1947. In 1949, I graduated and went on to Michigan State University then. So I felt that I received a good education that prepared me to go on to Michigan State. I was accepted there at that time as one of those junior college kids. You know, they didn't really appreciate that, but they taught us, though, that if you prepare yourself at certain courses in advance, you'll be okay. So I did that, and I made it okay. Later, I was able to start my own business. I went through, as a civil engineer, I went through performances for 8 years to get 2 licenses, surveying and engineering, civil engineering. And that was because I'd been through these 2 schools, and I went out and worked for my life at that time. I wanted to stay with Ann sitting down there that in 1958, I formed my own company. And I didn't have any employees. I was the only employee at that time. And you need a wife like Ann who's working to support you, and that worked out pretty good. But now I want to give you the credit for my parents, my teachers and mentors who supported me along the way. And it helped that I was born in that particular era during the Great Depression. That didn't hold us back. It appears to be more difficult and costly for students today, young students, to start in university colleges. So you can start roughly in a community college like here in Muskegon for about $100 a credit hour. If you want to go to MSU, Michigan State University today, 1 credit hour is roughly $1,000. That's the difference. And that's why I've come to say that the community colleges is the place to have your students come, because you're going to have all the right courses to bring you through the other college as you advance into professions and so forth. But what amazed me more than everything else was that someone called me and said, you know, we're going to take and have this special type of rapid prototype center here. You know, doesn't sound like a civil engineer to me. So anyway, they convinced me that that would be a good place for me to come back to Muskegon Community College and do what I could to help promote that program. So when I walked in here today and saw how big that thing was down there, I thought we were talking about an office building, you know, with like I had an office building with some employees. You're talking about a real small college right back there now, and they've hired the personnel to come and run it. So I think you can say then that we're going to have the right programs here to bring more students into Muskegon Community College throughout the town, throughout the different counties that you've mentioned, perhaps the whole state of Michigan now. So I think that I felt that I was an entrepreneur. You know, I started from I was money free. I had no job, but I started off with that business, and in 8 years I had my own business. And in 2008 I retired. That's my okay in there. So I retired very successful. So I know, though, that if you can get the right education and go through the right procedures, which we have here now, that you can do it also. So that's my plea, that I support Muskegon Community College. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I stand corrected. The follow-ups are indeed as strong. So thank you very much, Mr. Kraft. That was wonderful. Now, next, another gentleman who has been mentioned already, John Rooks, who, without his help, none of this would have been possible. It's been noted, the donation, but I think what hasn't been mentioned is this very deep and abiding support for the Muskegon community. The things he's done broadly are incredible. his fingerprints and his company's fingerprints are all over this town. I'm convinced that, and not just John, but the people who you're seeing now down the road, years down the road, are going to be seen as just as transformative, I should say, as many of the leaders of the pre- and post-war period, or the lumber and shipping period of this community. So it just means the world to me that you're all here. But John, it's I know you're back there somewhere. It's all yours.
I think I can talk through this, yes. Well, thank you, Dr. Nesberry, for the generous introduction. I'm so impressed to hear the stories of Peter and Carolyn and Robert, and it's Richard, I'm sorry. It's just so exciting to hear your stories. Mine's a lot shorter because it's only 9 years. I've only been in Muskegon for 9 years. The first couple of years, it took me a little bit, but then I got to know Dr. Nesberry, and it was pretty exciting. And by then, I had owned a few properties in downtown Muskegon. And when I heard about this millage, and having done a lot of developing in Grand Rapids and watching the Grand Valley State University growth and the impact it had on downtown Grand Rapids, it became clear to me this was an effort I wanted to at least somehow get involved in. The only way I knew at that point was I was going to volunteer to put some signs up. And they didn't have any signs for me, so I just mentioned it. And guess who showed up literally less than 6 hours later with a carload of signs and wanted to stick them on my properties? Guess who that is? It's this guy right here. Now that's some passion, and that really impressed me. I've offered to put signs up for politicians. They react in about a month sometimes, but he did it in 6 hours. So anyway, it's really great to see everyone here today. I can't believe the large crowd. It's it's something I'm very proud to be part of. It's a movement here in Muskegon. This is part of it. My company's been actively involved in the community since 2009, and it seems like every year since then I've been addicted. I can't stop doing one large project after another. We started with the Shoreline Inn and Conference Center in 2009, and then the Lake House Waterfront Grill and Terrace Point Marina, the Holiday Inn Muskegon Harbor, the 3rd Street Grill, the Horizon Office Building, the Firehouse Professional Building, and Terrace Point Landing home sites on Muskegon Lake. And as of this June, we'll be opening up the old Hackley Bank Building into the High Point Flats project with 47 apartments. Since I came to this area, there's just been this overwhelming increase in the amount of enthusiasm, and it's just been amazing to watch this ramp up of philanthropy. It would take very long to list all of the generous people in this community, some of which are here with us today. I'm looking at some of the big ones. And you know who you are, and your actions are making a difference. But please know that without you, I probably wouldn't have been inspired to do what I did. So thank you for all of the philanthropists in this town. There's a real sense of purpose in this area and the willingness to invest in a very much better tomorrow. I truly feel that there's a togetherness in this community, or an attitude that we're all in this together. And I'm honored to be part of it for the last 8-9 years, and the amount of change that we've experienced in this short period is incredible, and I believe it's only ramping up and it's only getting better. Every year seems to be a better year in Muskegon, and I don't see us going backwards. Over the last few years, I've been fortunate enough to get involved in Muskegon Community College and meet more of the staff and more of the students, and of course get to know Dale Nesberry. And it's hard to find a better group of individuals, and I've enjoyed watching this transformation of this building. But not only MCC, not only that, but MCC in general is the #1 community college in the state, and I verified it. I looked it up on bestcolleges.com, so I could say it with certainty. So why did I find like this? Why was this a fit for me? I love entrepreneurship. When I was entering the 10th grade, I knew an entrepreneur. I looked up to him, and he saw potential in me. He invested $9,000 in my venture, which was to buy a condemned house and one that should have been. And there were two families, and we agreed I would split the profits with him if he did the money and I did the work. And that started a business to develop homes and condominiums throughout high school and then into college. And I turned out to be good at real estate, but I never would have known that without an entrepreneur in my life at a young age. And one thing led to another, and I ended up taking the money I earned from those things. And of course, I put myself through school, and I went to U of M Business School. And I worked through college, and when I got out, I invested my savings into larger projects and other businesses. And then if you fast forward 35 years, I'm standing here, and a lot of hard work along the way, late hours, and funny thing, a higher percentage of my investments are gradually trickling into Muskegon. So I'm happy to be here and be able to do this. I really believe the support I received from that entrepreneur at such an early age is one of the key factors that helped propel me to where I am today. I could have chosen a variety of careers, but I wanted to be a self-employed entrepreneur because of that experience. And I view gifting the Masonic Temple to MCC as the best way for me at this point in my life to give young entrepreneurs in our community a similar opportunity to the one that I had at a young age. And through the Rook-Sarnicola Entrepreneurial School, it's only one small component of this incredible downtown campus. It someday should make a big difference in at least one young entrepreneur in our community and maybe more. So in that, I just want to thank the college for accepting this donation of the Masonic Temple. And I can't believe it, it's turned into being part of an $18 million first phase of the downtown campus. And as a real estate developer, I just have to say, I think it's the biggest single monetary investment in downtown Muskegon in over 15 years. It will attract and retain young talent. It has significant and uncountable spin-off impacts. It'll spur residential housing, and it'll put young people on our sidewalks year-round, which we desperately need. This is an incredible opportunity for me. It's an incredible opportunity to meet these other major donors of this project that I've never met before. And thank you to all of the donors, the school, the community foundation, the county, the state officials for making this happen in this great community.
Thank you very much, John. Now, next on our agenda or our program is Patrick Adams. Adams, who is the Executive Director of the Next Generation Entrepreneurs Foundation, if I can spit it out. Patrick's relationship to the institution comes through the Sarnicolas, and he leads what I would describe as one of the most energetic and very focused foundations focusing on the kinds of things that we're doing in the nation. So we're, as thrilled as NextGen is to work with us, we're more thrilled to have NextGen in our project and in our community. So Patrick, I know you're out there somewhere. If you could come up and please present to us. Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity. Nick and Ashley Sarnicola have very serious regrets that they couldn't be here with everyone in person. Unfortunately, they're out traveling outside of Michigan, and so they've asked me to step in and speak on their behalf. And like Dale said, my name is Patrick Adams. I'm the Executive Director of Next Generation Entrepreneurs, which is a foundation that Nick and Ashley started back in 2011. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But the partnership that NextGen has with the college here is very powerful. We plan to continue to partner with the college and with the Center for Entrepreneurship in a few different ways. One of them, this summer, we're going to be launching a program called Summer Startup, where we're going to be working with high school students to teach them how to code, how to write code within websites, and then also how to build an app that they can actually start a business. And that's going to happen right over here in the center. So we're really excited about that. But on behalf of the Sarnicolas, I want to thank everyone that's here. I also want to thank everyone that couldn't make it, everyone that's been involved in this initiative and from the beginning. This is just a powerful partnership, a powerful collaborative partnership between a lot of individuals, organizations, and people, and we're really excited to be part of it. A little bit about Nick and Ashley. Nick grew up here in West Michigan. He grew up in a blue-collar family, and he was destined to follow in his father's footsteps and work at the same company that his father worked for, his brother, his grandfather. But something inside Nick said, I don't want to do that. That's not the direction I want to go. And while his father kept trying to nudge him in that direction, he just felt like that wasn't the direction that he needed to go. And he didn't feel at the time that he had an option. He didn't know that there were any other options besides following his father's footsteps. And it wasn't until he was 16 that he was introduced to entrepreneurship. And at that time, when he was introduced, he finally knew exactly what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. Since that time, Nick is now 38. He and I went to high school together, so we're pretty close in age. He's now 38, and he is a very successful entrepreneur and a very good friend of mine and a mentor to me. And so I appreciate all the work that he's doing, not only outside of Michigan, but right here in Muskegon too, and the fact that I get to be part of it. So that's very, very great for me. Next generation entrepreneurs, the Sarnicolas, we believe that the traditional education system isn't necessarily designed to educate, inspire, to adapt to the challenges and the changes that are happening in the world today. And when Nick wanted to make sure, when he started Next Generation Entrepreneurs, him and Ashley both wanted to make sure that young people knew that there was a choice. That they can follow in their parents' footsteps and go into a career that they love, as long as that's a career that they love. But he wanted them to know that there was a choice. And Nick and Ashley felt that they also wanted to be part of something that could be greater than themselves someday, a place that could help to inspire and educate young people to follow their passions through entrepreneurship. And now we're standing in that place. And what a cool opportunity that is for them to be able to be part of that opportunity with all of you. So like I said, in 2011, the Sarnicolas started Next Generation Entrepreneurs with a $1 million donation dedicated to helping young people realize their passions through entrepreneurship. And making this donation was really a dream come true for Nick and Ashley. They are beyond ecstatic about the opportunity to be part of this. And every time that they come back to West Michigan, they make a stop right here in West Michigan and make sure that they come through and tour the site and see how things are going. So they're very excited about it. But hats off to all the donors that have been part of this collaborative partnership, and hats off to Muskegon Community College for stepping up and providing a location, a place that young entrepreneurs can be creative and be themselves and love what they do. So thank you.
And you know, the world is a great place. You know, one of the things that we can do that we couldn't do when an old guy like myself was coming up is follow our friends on social media. And the Sarnicolas and Patrick have a very significant presence, and I'd encourage you to go out there, check them out. They're doing great things, and not just West Michigan, but the world. So it's a wonderful time to be able to have these relationships, but be able to sort of have a more of a close relationship than we would have had even just a few years ago. Now, our next several remarks are coming from folks who are in the legislative domain, in the congressional domain, and who represent us as an institution, as faculty, teachers, administrators, and so forth. You know, I always note that my background early on, going back to 1976, when my lovely spouse and myself were just starting to date, was doing internships with the Michigan legislature and followed with jobs with the Michigan legislature, research companies, supporting legislators, the legendary mayor of the city of Boston, political science professor, and that kind of thing. So my understanding of what is needed to make a state or a community great is to have great representatives. I think we've had those over the years. If I track back, I know I'll miss some of them, but we currently have Senator Hansen, who you're going to hear from almost immediately, Representative Hughes, Representative Sable, I think I see back there. I saw a former Rep. Bumstead, who's here as well. I hope I'm not missing former Rep. Marcia Hovey-Wright, who worked on helping us move this project forward. Any number of legislators, Colin Lamonte as well. It's work that I know legislators and Congress men and women just kind of have a tough slog to go. But having been in that environment, I wouldn't do their job because they work as hard as anybody I know. So thank you so much for the work. The same goes for our representatives in Washington, D.C. Senator Stabenow, Senator Peters, Rep. Huizenga, Congressman Huizenga, do that kind of work as well. So I very much appreciate the work that's being done there. I will turn the microphone over to Senator Hansen, who was Representative Hansen, I believe, when we first met, having those late night phone calls trying to get legislation through, and as committed a person as I've ever met in this area. So, Senator, the microphone's yours.
Well, good afternoon. This is just an amazing opportunity to come in front of everybody and get a chance to talk. It's so easy to be caught up in the things that are going on in Muskegon Community College. We've got a great leader. Dale has been on top of everything. I mean, the board has done a wonderful job. And it's just, to me, it's so easy to be part of this. They make everybody understand how important this is to the area. They make everybody understand how important it is to the state of Michigan. And so that, you know, it helps our kids, it helps our whole area. Because by keeping our kids around and being able to train them for the jobs that are available here, they're not going to go somewhere else. And I got to tell you, as my grandkids live 2 miles away from me, that's the best thing in the world. I don't have to get on a plane to go see them. So I just want to say congratulations to everybody that helped make this possible. A special thank you to the folks that have been so generous with their, with their treasure to help make this happen. This is such an achievement. It's an example of regional partnership and the citizens of a community saying, we want to come together and achieve a common objective. Now, I personally, I think this was the best possible thing for this building. Taking a building that is, of historic significance and bringing in all of these young people or older people or whoever comes here to be educated is such a great thing for this, and to learn the new skills. They're going to discover their new passions in this great area. So it's just great to see the college and the business leaders and the residents investing in their city, in their area. This is how things get done. This is how community works, is where everybody works together, common goal, that is, it's just a building block to help maintain a vibrant community. And so today what we're seeing is we're seeing Michigan and we're seeing Muskegon's economy continue to grow and diversify. And as you look around, the demand for these technologically skilled workers is growing. As I go around and talk to our friends in the area, everybody is looking for workers. Everybody is looking for skilled workers, or any workers. And if we can turn out people that are skilled and ready to go, that's where our entrepreneurship comes from, because they start maybe in a business, and then they move on and open their own business. And it's such an important priority that we give these students the opportunities to be prepared to fill these jobs that are certainly there. And so, this grand opening is a step forward toward achieving that goal. So, providing the hands-on learning opportunity, this state-of-the-art facility, it just leaves little doubt to me that MCC graduates will be readily prepared to lead in the technical fields. Now, I'm going to read these because I don't want to leave anything out. Because in here we've got welding, we have machining, we have materials testing, we have engineering, and alternative energy technology are some of the things that are going to be done here. And I'm confident that the students that have the chance to study applied technology programs here at the SturrusTechnology Center will go on to great careers in Muskegon, Michigan, and across the country, and probably across the world. And so I'm excited. I'm eager to see what the future holds for all the students that go through here and that have the privilege to use this magnificent facility. So I just want to say again, thank you for all of the efforts and the generosity, and it's going to be a truly outstanding asset for the entire area. So thank you for everything, and Dale, dang man, you keep up the good work.
Thank you for your comments, Senator, and I think we all agree that without your support and your colleagues' support, this would not be happening, so I very much appreciate the effort. Now, representatives from the federal government as well. You might know that we have very generous private supporters and very generous public supporters, and part of that support comes from the Economic Development Administration. Ms. Tamayo was here from the EDA, and she's accompanied by Peter Rostico from Senator Gary Peters' office and Mary Judges from Senator Debbie Stabeno's office. So I guess we'll start with Peters first. So Peter Rostico, if you could come and present to us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, President Nesbury, and to all of you for coming here. It's a great day. And the word that strikes me is opportunity. As you walk in the front hall, you might notice all the internships that are already posted. Jobs at GE Aviation, Fleet Engineering, Rami, Eagle Alloy. These are internships, they're starts of careers, they're starting to build just opportunity. So the excitement here is great. Senator Peters is very sorry he couldn't be here today. He has been here in the past, and he's looking forward to returning to tour this wonderful facility. It is just that. He really just wanted to emphasize to you all that Senator Peters believes that the role of the community college in our country is never been more critical. As Senator Hansen and others have noted, we have so many employers right now that cannot fill the jobs that are open, that are well-paid jobs. This center provides that link. So it is such a wonderful resource. And he also really wanted to thank the community, the voters of Muskegon County, the Sturrus family, and so many of the other donors that helped to make this a reality. In 2015, we were very pleased to help support the grant application to the Economic Development Administration, along with Senator Stabenow, and as we noted, Jeanette Tamayo is with us from the EDA. She's our regional director, and I thank you for all that you have done towards this. The jobs, growing American jobs was a sign out front, and that's what the EDA does all over America. Senator Peters belongs to a bipartisan caucus in the Senate that's called CTE. That stands for Career and Technical Education. There is a caucus of members of both parties who get together and work on policy that is solely aimed at finding ways to, on the margins, how can government help enhance job creation? One of the ways that Senator Peters, among others, wants to do it is to expand dual and concurrent enrollment, to get the high school students that are very capable to get college credit whilst in high school. Muskegon County has a strong history of that. We would like to see that grow, and I'm certain that it will. So again, congratulations to everyone that is here. This facility is going to help grow Muskegon and our entire West Michigan region. Thank you.
And now, next we have Mary Judnich. If you would rise and please share with us your thoughts on this process. Thank you, Mary.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here on behalf of Senator Stabenow. And like Senator Peters, she's in Washington, D.C. this evening, so regrets that she personally cannot be here. But to Dr. Nesberry, to Dr. Crandall, and all the Board of Trustees, to Carolyn and Peter Sturrus, and all the other important donors for this project, and the community members, congratulations from Senator Stabenow. She was pleased to be a partner with you and to support the EDA funding, and I'm very pleased that Jeanette is able to join us because this is a critical project that EDA has supported, and a wonderful project. And Dr. Nesberry, I know that this has been a long time vision and work that has been put into this project. But it could not have happened at a more critical time and a perfect time because workforce development is one of the key things that the Senator hears from businesses and the needs from the business community. So I think you're well positioned to help the community, the local businesses, and the individuals that pass through your doors. And I thank all the speakers today, because the one thing that I saw consistently through the speakers and heard from the speakers is the passion. And that's what got you here today, is the passion and the commitment and the acknowledgement that it is the educators that support us and move us forward and get our energy moving, right, and to become innovative and to get motivated to do great things in our world. So thank you to the educators of Muskegon Community College that's going to do wonderful things, because this is just a building. It's the people that are walk through this building and the teachers that will be in this building that will do wonderful things for our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Now, Jeanette Tamayo, you're not on the program, but because of the process that we went through and because of your support over time, I would love if you could share a few words with us. Driving from Chicago, you have to come up and speak. So, Jeanette Tamayo, the Economic Development Administration, there you go.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. It's my distinct pleasure on behalf of the U.S. Economic Development Administration to extend greetings and congratulations. At EDA, we believe that communities are revitalized through their bottoms-up economic development strategies. And when you mentioned community and cooperation, that's exactly what it takes to bring a vision to fruition. Within the federal government, grants are highly competitive, and $2.5 million are difficult to come by, especially for our smaller, more rural communities. The vision that Dr. Nesberry presented, the plan of action and the implementation strategy really brought forth this project and brought it to our attention and helped it win an award above and beyond many other projects that were competing from the other states. Why is this important for the Midwest and why is it important for Muskegon? Part of it is the workforce development and keeping our youth here, providing employment opportunities, providing the talented workforce to our businesses. The other part of it is revitalizing our communities and helping keep our smaller communities strong. But most importantly, it's providing hope. And when you have new technologies, new training opportunities, and that synergy that comes from community cooperation, the philanthropic community, the civic cooperation, the nonprofit organizations, academic institutions, and all of the elected officials cooperating together, you can bring back that hope. So while I wasn't on the program, I appreciate your allowing me to congratulate you and extend that this vision of being number one is something that we applaud you for and we hope is replicated throughout our region and throughout the country. Thank you.
Folks, I was admonished by my lovely spouse that my microphone needs to be lifted so that you can actually hear me. So thank you for putting up with my lack of having the microphone there. Now, we have two more portions of this program, and I think they're critically important. We have a series of faculty and staff who have been involved in this process from the beginning, and if you think about what makes these kinds of things happen, we're doing these kinds of things for our students, but the faculty make it happen and the staff make it happen. So I think we need to acknowledge that work, and I understand we've been here for a little while. However, I think we need to recognize those who are a part of our faculty and staff who are in this process. And I have a list here, and I'm against all odds. I am going to mention who they are to you. Tom Martin, former chair of our Applied Technology Department, and John Larson, the current chair, and faculty members Chuck Ammond, Tom Groner, Jeff Johnston, Kathy Leifer, Tom Summerichs, Dan Lynn, Stephen Abel, Joel Yates, and many, many adjunct faculty who have been involved in the process as well. Now, this is not just a tech building, although we're spending a lot of time on that. We have a number of programs that are being moved to this building that will be, I think, effective for our community. Entrepreneurial studies, chaired by Dave Stradell, who is somewhere in this space. Dave, if you would wave, I don't know if you're here, you're probably around the corner. And Kurt Troutman and George Maniatis. Experiential learning. All of our, well, not all, but almost all of our students are interns, or they do some, as we say, practicum out there in the field. And George and Kurt do things that many of you know. You've been involved in some of his programs that take place anywhere from the Silver Size Museum to discussions on the World War II process, the World War I process, the Vietnam War process, and I believe the first program that they put out there in the community was for the Civil War process. They're doing great things, and they're going to be down in this space as well. Now, I have just a couple of other I want to make sure I don't miss anyone before we move on. Now, there are a number of elected officials who are here who I don't think I recognized before. So if you are a local elected official or a state elected official who I didn't mention, if you would please rise and be recognized. City Commission, County Commission, some of our township people, don't be bashful. I guess you are bashful. Byron Turnquist, my brother and partner in crime, thank you, City Commissioner Muskegon. Behind the post. Sorry about that. And Oaks, there you are. And Muskegon Community College trustee as well. So thank you for the work that you do. There are a number of business leaders who made this process happen, although they're not necessarily on your list, they are people who helped us with our initial fundraising drive and moved us forward in ways that would not have happened. I know I've seen at least one. Mr. Larry Hines is hiding back there in the corner. Larry, if you could wave. I see Kay Othoff as well. Thank you for the work that you've done with us. I thought I saw Chuck Johnson here, maybe I didn't, but he helped us very significantly in that process. Many of you out there, you know who you are, and if you're a business person or a community person who helped us in this process, and this is kind of a trick question, I'd like for you to rise and be recognized. You're not going to do it, huh? If you are a community member and you voted for this millage, every single one of you should be recognized. So the political scientist in me says that you must be recognized. Now, without further ado, Greg Marzak, a chemist and a very integral part of this process, is going to come and speak to what goes on in the classroom and perhaps speak on those who, and I didn't make this recognition earlier, those who helped build the projects, design the projects that we were involved in this specific project, and help us understand how this is being implemented from the time that you've been working. Greg.
So a common misperception, often perpetuated by people who don't understand academia, is that anybody can teach, and that teachers get the entire summer off. As instructors, we do not do a good job of promoting ourselves and letting others know how a strong association, a union, for example, strengthens and benefits our community. Today, we stand in the new SturrusTechnology Center. As you tour the facility, you will be able to see a remodeled building and the latest technology. But all of this means nothing if you don't have a talented and experienced pool of faculty, an administration who supports those faculty, and a board who believes in those faculty. In this building alone, every single instructor brings significant industrial experience and incorporates that experience into their teaching. Many of these instructors are often being asked by recruiters to come back to industry. However, their passion and commitment to MCC students and the community outweighs their desire for personal gain. Because of our good relationship and support from Dr. Nesberry, Dr. John Selman, Vice President Kelly Conrad, the Muskegon Community Board of Trustees, and a host of others, the faculty at Muskegon Community College are given the tools and opportunities necessary to create great things for our students. Because our relationship is one of mutual respect and is not adversarial, and because we are provided with a good living wage and benefits, the faculty can and do pour their energy and passion, there's that word again, passion, into MCC. Perhaps you've been lucky enough to witness the excitement of a young boy or girl opening a 3,000-piece Lego Star Wars kit. The Sturrus Center is our Lego kit. The excitement is contagious. I don't think we're going to build a Death Star, though. Now that the center is open, several exciting programs are being developed to help serve the needs and demands for employers in the area. Our goal is to make sure that the investment by the community is returned to that community. We want to train local talent and ensure local talent works and lives in Muskegon. I want to finish by making sure that one of our association members, Tom Martin, is recognized for his immense contribution to the successful design, building, and opening of this center. Tom, who went here, by the way, as did I and several of the other instructors who work here. Tom embodies the spirit and commitment of our faculty who do not just stand in front of the whiteboard, but invest deeply in all aspects of MCC throughout the year, including those precious days of summer. So thank you, Tom, and we look forward to following your example.
Thank you very much, Greg. I know that I believe our foundation board and our alumni board were recognized earlier. If you weren't, since people are not in the mood of standing up, if you, foundation board and our alumni board, alumni committee, if you could wave for the cameras. Oh, okay, there you go. Thank you very much. Thanks for doing that. And our architects and our construction management firm, C2AE and Clark Construction. I know you're out there somewhere, and I won't ask you to stand, but if you could do your Miss America wave. Thank you very much for the efforts that you put into this space. And with that, I believe we are set. Thank you very much for your time. I know this has been a longer program, but I think given what we were trying to accomplish here, it was worth every minute. So thank you very much.